Even if Biden manages to win, he's screwed. Hi, I'm Scott Ott, and this is Right Angle with Bill Whittle and Stephen Green. And gentlemen, I hate to do two stories in 1 week that both come out of Politico, but this is another one, another think piece in the wake of the election that has continues to linger on. The vote counting continuing in multiple states and across the country. And the upshot of the story, gentlemen, is that no matter who wins the election, if it turns out to be Biden, he's really got problems because the Democrats, who were expecting to grow their majority in the House, in fact, did not do so, and the Republicans picked up about 10 seats there. Democrats expected to win the Senate, and they did not do so, and the Republicans held on to their majority there, or at least at the current count levels, that's what it looks like. Stephen Green, Biden is going to go in there hoping to take that one term that he may have to serve and really make a difference. How is he even going to do that with a weakened Nancy Pelosi in the House and a full headwind of Mitch McConnellites in the Senate?
Yeah, there are a couple of things that people haven't taken into account yet, and that's assuming Joe Biden is sworn into office on January 20th, 2021 here, and I'm not sure I'd take even money on that just yet. Trump's legal effort seems to be shaping up nicely if what I read in our 5 minutes in between segments is any indication. That said, I really hope that Barack Obama would be a one-term president, and then, well, we nominated Mitt Romney, and that was the end of that. But he'd done his damage. His last 6 years, he was hobbled by a G.O.P. House, and then for his last couple of years by a G.O.P. Senate as well. But damn it, 2009 to 2011, from the time he was sworn in until the G.O.P. House was sworn in 2011, did the Democrats ever do some damage? I mean, they did in those 2 years what Paul Ryan said he was going to do starting in 2017 and what he absolutely failed to do. Remember Paul Ryan coming in January of 2017 saying, "Oh, I've got legislation lined up like airplanes ready to taxi out of the international airport," and then that all got grounded. The Democrats actually did that from 2009 to 2011. They put, I think they got everything on their wish list except for gun control. They did the Frank Dodd, whatever it was, the banking regulation thing, and the Consumer Finance Protection Board is totally unconstitutional. They got Obamacare, regulation after regulation. I mean, they just spent 2 years screwing us good. Not only is Biden going to be a one-term president, if that, assuming he's sworn in and then assuming Kamala Harris doesn't pull a 25th Amendment on him, he doesn't get those 2 years. He doesn't. One of the beauties of our system is unless one party totally screws the pooch the way the GOP did by not fighting back over Katrina and then letting Iraq go to hell for a year and a half before finally authorizing the surge. So except when one party truly collapses, the American people and our American system has that genius built in where we tend to split our federal government. And if anything is going to save us from a Biden administration, it's that particular genius right there.
Bill Whittle, if Joe Biden faces a headwind should he be elected president, one might argue that Donald Trump greets a vigorous tailwind, if only because of the defiance of expectations. I mean, he didn't get a larger Senate majority, but he's got enough. He didn't get a majority in the House, but he's got a stronger caucus in the House. And he's got a bunch of people across the country who are got to be sitting back, jaws agape, wondering how this possibly happened. It's not exactly a mandate, but it's certainly kind of a resurrection from the presumed dead. How do you think the second Trump term will be able to take advantage of what I'm describing as a tailwind?
The second Trump term? You're assuming that Trump wins the presidency?
Yes.
Okay, good, because I just wanted to say something, and I'll just get it said anyway. The day of the election, which was yesterday as we record this, I put up a video saying, basically, if Biden wins by the kind of numbers he's projected to win by, then there's still an America, and that doesn't mean that it's over, that there'll always be an America. And some people thought that was defeatist. It was just the opposite. To me, it was Churchill saying, "We'll fight them on the beaches, we'll fight them in the streets, and if we have, and if If our island is invaded, which I for one moment do not think will happen, then we'll fight them from the colonies and we're going to win. So I put that out there. That's a marker, and it's out there. So I am not the kind of person who was in a position to say, I refuse to accept the results of this election. But I refuse to accept the premise that Joe Biden is president. I refuse to accept the premise. I am not going to grant that premise under any circumstances after what I've seen. So if you want to talk about a Trump second term, I'm happy to do that. I will not speculate on a Biden first term out of a matter of sheer principle for me. Because to me, given the evidence of what I've seen so far, to speculate on a Biden first term is to grant them the victory that I am not going to grant them, period. So if Donald Trump is able to win this legitimately, which it looks like he did, then what is going to be different? Nothing. The only thing that's going to be different in terms of the climate, nothing's going to be different. But what's going to be different is the Justice Department will have another 2 years to do a couple of things. And I would let Joe Biden go free. I'd let Hillary Clinton go free. And if Biden wins, they're going to go free. I would let all of them go. I'd give them a ticket to Hawaii and I'd give them a gold medal. I'd give them that. I'd give up the border wall. I would give up everything if I could get big tech companies being broken up, because their control of the information is more important to me than regaining control of the electoral system. I would rather have big tech broken up and have the American people vote in a relatively corrupted system than have them have their control of information managed the way that it has been and have them vote in a perfectly fair system. I am not going to grant this premise. So if Donald Trump has a second term, he will continue to be called illegitimate. He'll continue to be called a dictator. He'll continue to be called a person who resisted the will of the people and all the rest of it. And Scotty, up until earlier this morning, I didn't care. And I'm sorry, up until earlier this morning, I did care. I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore if it goes to the courts, if it goes to the Supreme Court. I do not grant this case based on what I'm seeing. I don't grant it. So we're just going to have to see. But I'm not going to speculate on, the Democrats think it turned out to be a bad night. If Joe Biden is president, then there will be no more elections that can be won by Republicans. And this isn't just, oh my God, we lost the election. If Biden is president, then the control of the media and the information source that allowed them to tell a 3-year story based on FBI collusion that was never reported on, that the Hunter Biden laptop and all the rest of it. If the Justice Department does not go to Donald Trump, then all of these things will be stronger in 2024, not weaker. The precedent for early voting will be stronger in 2024 than 2020, not weaker. And so this is the hill. This is the hill. And I can't speak for anybody else. This is the hill I'm standing on, and I'm standing on this hill until I either win or I am overrun. This is the hill. And that's my take on the Democrats' disappointing performance.
Sometimes I think that the American people went to the marketplace and they purchased 2 horses. And they got the first horse for themselves. It's a magnificent creature, very fast, very strong, can bear a lot of weight, and it is just a beautiful thing to see. They purchased the second horse, which is actually a matched pair of horses. The second one is also very strong, kind of a beautiful creature, can carry a lot of weight, and is very fast. And they purchased that one for their government. And so the American people made a gift of this second horse to their government. As part of that gift, the American people included a device known as hobbles. Just above the fetlocks on a horse's legs, they would clamp these, what look like handcuffs, around the horse's legs. And the purpose of this is so that the horse can't go running away. You can leave him out to graze around the area, even without a fence, and he's not going to go off crazy and cause problems around the neighborhood. And one of the things I just love about our system of government is the way that the Constitution itself, and taking the lead from the Constitution, or perhaps the Constitution writers took the lead from the American people, is that we have designed a government that is not going to run away, that is not going to get into trouble, because we're going to put a pair of hobbles on its legs and make sure that it can't go very far, or at least not further than we want it to. It's one of the neat things about what's happening right now. If Joe Biden should happen to win this by hook or by crook, or even legally, he's going to face a tremendous difficulty dealing with the legislative body, which is going to be a check on his power, and he won't be able to tilt the judiciary because of the check of the legislative body upon his power. If Donald Trump wins, he's going to be able to get some stuff done, but there are still enough Democrats in there that are going to be able to cause problems for him. And he is somewhat hobbled as well. There's even at times in our history when we have had all three branches in the possession of the Republicans, you find that or the Democrats, you find it doesn't last very long. And the hobbles go back on, and the American people say, good, you can just graze out there in the yard. I'm going to watch TV, try not to get into any trouble. And I think that is, the Democrats often say that they want, a more effective government to accomplish the goals that they have in mind. The Republicans, on the other hand, have delighted themselves in having an ineffective government that can't do too much, because most of what it would do, given the opportunity, if you gave it its head, so to speak, and if you took the hobbles off, would not only be detrimental to the neighborhood, but would be damaging to the horse itself. For Bill Whittle and Stephen Green, thanks for watching Right Angle. I'm Scott Ott. Thanks to the members for making it possible.